Greetings, legendary readers. Welcome to Larry's Legendary Library, where we explore science fiction, fantasy, and the deeper wonder within them. When science fiction imagines alien life, it often gives us strange creatures. But the most fascinating stories imagine something much bigger. Not just alien creatures, but whole alien ecosystems, entire worlds where life has evolved under completely different conditions, producing species, environments, and biological systems unlike anything on Earth. Today, for Magazine Monday, we're looking at two classic science fiction stories that explore that idea in very different ways. Desertion by Clifford D. Simak and A Martian Odyssey by Stanley G. Weinbaum. Both stories ask the same question. If life evolved somewhere else in the universe, what might an entire ecosystem look like? In Larry's Legendary Library Taxonomy, both stories today earn two badges, wonder and puzzle. Wonder because they expand our imagination about what alien life might be, and puzzle because each story challenges us to understand how a completely unfamiliar ecosystem actually works. That combination, wonder and puzzle, is one of the things that make classic science fiction magazines so exciting to read. Let's start with A Martian Odyssey, Stanley G. Weinbaum, one of the most famous science fiction stories ever written. I'll put a link if you want to access the public domain copy of this story. It was originally published in Wonder Stories in July 1934. This story was revolutionary for one simple reason. Before Weinbaum, most alien creatures in science fiction were basically just monsters. But Weinbaum imagined something completely different, a true alien ecosystem. The story follows a human explorer named Dick Jarvis who travels across the surface of Mars. Along the way, he encounters a remarkable alien being called Queel. Queel is not simply a monster or a villain. He is an intelligent creature with his own logic, his own behavior, and his own place within the Martian ecosystem. As Jarvis travels with Queel, he encounters a series of strange Martian life forms, creatures that build pyramids of silicone, strange mobile plants, bizarre predators adapted to the Martian environment. What makes the story so fascinating is that these creatures feel biologically connected to their environment. They aren't random inventions. They feel like species that evolved as part of an ecosystem. And Jarvis spends most of the story trying to understand how these life forms actually work. And that's where the puzzle element comes in. The reader experiences the same mystery Jarvis does. What are these creatures? How do they survive? What role do they play in this alien world? Are they sentient? Weinbaum's Mars may not match what we know about the real planet Mars today, but in 1934, it was still an interesting read. The idea behind the story that alien worlds might contain complex alien ecosystems would change science fiction. The second story, Desertion by Clifford D. Simak. This takes place, alien ecosystem, it takes it even further. This story was published in Astounding Science Fiction in 1944, during the period that's often referred to as the golden age of science fiction. The premise is wonderfully imaginative. Human scientists have established a station orbiting Jupiter, but Jupiter's atmosphere is far too hostile for humans to explore. The pressure, the gravity, the environment would instantly kill a human visitor. So the scientists invent a machine that is capable of transforming humans into Jovian creatures. These beings are called lopers. Once transformed, a human can descend into Jupiter's atmosphere and begin to explore. But something strange happens. Everyone who becomes a loper never comes back. At first, the scientists believe that something must have gone wrong. But eventually, one of them undergoes the transformation himself, and we go along for the ride. And what he discovers is astonishing. Experiencing Jupiter as a loper reveals an ecosystem far richer and far more fascinating than anyone can imagine. As a loper, he can move effortlessly through the dense atmosphere. He can sense distant objects, and he can explore this harsh environment. In fact, the experience is so transformational that he begins to wonder if life in this alien ecosystem is even better than being a human. Simak's story turns alien ecosystems into something incredible. Instead of observing these aliens from the outside, we observe them by actually becoming the alien ourselves through this story. What makes these two stories such a fascinating pairing is how differently they approach alien ecosystems. In A Martian Odyssey, humans encounter alien life as explorers. They observe strange species and try to understand how they fit into the Martian environment. In Desertion, the explorers go one step further. They actually experience the ecosystem from inside an alien body. Together, these stories show two of the greatest strengths of science fiction: its ability to imagine worlds that are biologically different from our own, and the way it can imagine ways of life that challenge even what it means to be human. And even today, scientists continue to speculate about alien ecosystems, possible life beneath ice oceans of Europa, microbial ecosystems in the clouds of Venus, or organisms living in the methane lakes of Titan. The universe may be filled with environments where life has evolved in ways that we can barely imagine. One of the things I love about classic science fiction magazines is how they boldly explored ideas like this. They invited readers to imagine entire living worlds, ecosystems shaped by environments completely different from our own. And stories like A Martian Odyssey and Desertion remind us that the universe may be far stranger and far richer than we expect. And so, legendary readers, I'd love to hear from you. What science fiction story contains the most fascinating alien ecosystem you have ever encountered? Let me know in the comments. I always enjoy hearing from you. Until next time, thank you so much for watching, and keep exploring the deeper wonder.